Hey Locke, welcome, welcome. How's it going? Is the volume of the mic versus the music alright? Nice. Cool, thank you. So today I'm doing something a little bit different. Still for the book project, but I'm trying to do one of those, sidebar illustration. So this one is not going to be painted, it's just going to be line art. But I want to figure out a few different ideas for it because I'm not 100% sure what it should be. And then, for the final book, it's probably just going to be a lot of different illustration per chapter. But for now, I only need the one. And I guess this first sketch is gonna be the most safe and boring one, possibly. Just because, it's the very first one. It's my own project, actually. I mentioned, I think last time, that I'm opening a company in the next couple of weeks, and then I'm gonna try to go full steam ahead with these to reach a Kickstarter. I forgot if this is... Okay, there we go. So for now, it's still gonna work for some creature like full-time, but after the Kickstarter, if it is successful, then I'd like to just work on this project full-time, and it's gonna need so many illustrations, so hopefully I'll also learn a lot of things along the way. Just trying to see if I can sort of combine some like abstract pattern and like Art Nouveau sort of thing. I'm not sure if it really fits, but I think it could be interesting to try. This could be like coins and stuff. All right, so I think the very first version, and then we can possibly just do these because I'm working with smart objects in Photoshop. So what I'm doing is I'm drawing the picture in Clip Studio and saving it as a PSD, and that file is linked within this PSD. So when I save it, it just updates and I can sort of test it out. But I should put it here. Yes, I'm leaving a little bit of margin, and then I should probably mask out all of these things just to see how it actually would look like. And it would probably need texture as well. So let's start with these. In here, mask. And it would be nice to also get this. It's not gonna be very precise. Thanks, man. Yeah, hopefully it's gonna be nice and fun. I mean, I think the idea has value. It could be really useful, but I guess it's also up to the people, they like it or not. But I'll try my best. Kind of like this here. Really want to try to get that parchment feeling, so I'm gonna try to drop in a texture on it. Got this. Whoopa. How this feels on this one. This is a pretty fun way of doing it. I didn't really use this process ever before, where I'm basically doing the drawing somewhere else, but then I already have a composite of what it might look like, so I can check it in context. And of course this needs to have like final lines and hatching and everything else, but just so I can check the composition of it. But let's try a different version. This is cool. Let's call it V1. Make a new layer. I do want to try something that is maybe a little bit more environment focused, even though it doesn't make a whole lot of sense in this case, but I'll see. Because the first like main chapter would be about adventuring items, so I mean you could still say, oh, it's, you know, you have the adventure somewhere physical, so it might still make some bit of sense. But I think maybe just having a nice arrangement of props could be the winning idea here. But I think it's still worth exploring. It could be useful for other chapters as well. These sort of compositions are really tricky and interesting because you don't have, you know, a ton of space to work with. I guess you have a lot of like vertical space, but it's a very interesting format. And one thing for sure, regardless of the subject, I definitely want these to feel like there is a lot of stuff going on. Like I want these to feel pretty full overall. Yeah, something like that could work too. Just gotta experiment a little bit. We could have a little bit of a tree poking it behind this sort of tower things, and maybe like there's more vegetation at the bottom and some in front as well. And then I guess we could have more bigger sort of things here. There could be a small bird. We might have to indicate him a little bit better, but there's a bird there. And to change the flow, we could have sort of like indication of a mountain or something like that here at the back. We could have. I don't think I've ever drawn anything in this weird format before, but I think we'll make it work somehow. Yeah, definitely some clouds. I'm gonna add those in the scene in a second for sure. I think that would be pretty useful. I wonder if it's too much to like add a hole and maybe sort of have like a telescope, sort of like it's in a astronomy wizard kind of tower. I don't know. Maybe it's too much. I kind of like the idea, but we'll see. We'll see. And this might just need. We could break it, but this is kind of like in the middle, and I never like to do that, so let's change it. So it's more like this instead. Let's drop in the clouds first. Let's see what happens. Oh my god, those are some ugly clouds. Let's also change the direction again. Just wonder if these, because I kind of want to keep them graphic, but at the same time, it might be interesting to have a bit of perspective or volume, even though for something like this, maybe flat works as well. Let's try maybe some more billowy clouds throughout. Yeah, I'm not 100% sure. We could have like smaller ones, maybe closer to the horizon. Be like going into the mountain. This could be like maybe the bottom side if you want to indicate a bit of form. Again, we'll see about that. Kind of maybe like the astronomy idea, just because it adds a bit of storytelling, because otherwise it's just, you know, this tower. My shapes at this size are ugly as you know what. I don't even know if YouTube like detects what you're saying on stream, and if you say curse words, it's just gonna hide your stream or something. So I didn't really think about it in the other streams, but maybe it does. The only thing I'm not sure about is like this, just because it might look too much like the continuation of the mountain, so I might just make it straight instead and make sure that it looks like it integrates into the structure a little bit better. One thing that I've been watching some of these documentaries about Japanese artists, mostly, you know, mangakas and animators, but I wonder if, and this might be like a stupid consideration, but I wonder if they are so amazing just because they've been drawing literally like hundreds of drawings per month, because, you know, either if you're doing manga or animation, you have to draw an insane amount of stuff. And there was this documentary about Yoneyama May, and she said that if you wanted to become a key animator at Gainax, there was like an exam you had to pass, which was to be able to draw like 300 frames per month for 3 months straight. And that to me seems absolutely insane, but I guess then they do get to see some sort of result. Okay, let's test out this second version. Okay, so we got these. It's not too bad. It's not too bad. It's a cultural thing. Yeah, maybe. I mean, they definitely have a completely different work ethic, which is definitely not for the best, I would say. But at the same time, I haven't found like, maybe I'm just biased, but the, you know, it's not just technical, you know, it's not just skills. It's a sort of way of imagining things and creativity, and the way they express, you know, their compositions and their designs are so creative. And, you know, their use of shapes and design principle is crazy. So I wonder if it's just, you know, learned by working a crazy amount of hours or if it's something else, but I do want to bet that it's probably just working an insane amount of hours. Okay, so I think this one we can try something else, maybe a little bit more abstract. Not sure how that could work, but I guess it might be worth a shot. I think this needs to be bigger. Just be 20. I'm not sure about the purely abstract. I can sort of already feel that I'm not gonna like this. Although it might be good practice, just because I think there is a lot we can learn from good abstract design. It's just not very easy or intuitive to pull off. To me at least. Like just arranging these curves so they have not just a nice flow. I guess they need to flow nicely, but then again, also like the spacing needs to feel good as well, which is, I think on this sort of things I still rely too much on feeling and instinct. Like, does this look nice? Maybe. But I can't apply any sort of principle or rule to it because I don't know a lot about, graphic design or abstract shapes. Like, yes, I could apply the regular principle of design, like proportions and rhythm, movement, spacing, and that should probably help quite a bit. But yeah, I think I don't like the abstract thing. Like, it could be nice for decorations to the side, but I don't like to have like a chapter with shapes. Not a fan. Maybe you can try another arrangement of objects. Because we have this one. Size, I think, it's nice. Like, I want to be able to see the object, so they don't have to be really smaller than this. Maybe I could switch the objects around. But at the same time, it is adventuring gear. It could be a mix. I think maybe if we start with some like ruins, let's see. Maybe there's like a bit of a wall here. Like blocks of stone. And then maybe there isn't like an arch. Oh my god. Yes, I have to go back to like practice even just drawing lines and curves because it's not working the way I want it to. mileage is pretty important. It also feels like something that you do lose. I don't want to say fast, but if you don't do it enough, it's definitely something that it is gonna go. Let's start with like a super basic sword design. We're gonna make it more fun and interesting later if we go for this. So maybe it could be like, it feels like a pretty big sword, but maybe it's fine. And we could maybe have a bit of a bush in foreground. I wonder if we can just indicate that there is, you know, maybe a bit of a skull with an helmet on, just laying here. And I think this is a lot of negative space, so I wonder if maybe we just indicate the top of some other ruins. Completely forgot to post the stream on my Instagram. Should have probably done that. I mean, we just started basically, so there's still time. We could have some blocks. So what is everyone up to currently? Frogs in the foreground. Why not? I mean, let's, you know, I can just add the little stone in here and then be like, there's a frog sitting here. I always draw frogs like this way. And they could have like this giant eyes. And then arms. This looks like it's a pretty stupid frog though. Sorry, frog. And this is what happens when you don't use references. It's unimpressed. Just giving some eyebrows because why not? Amazing, right? Some leaves. to hide the frog. Oh my god, this is really stupid. Let me at least change the direction of the arms, I guess, so they don't come out the front completely. Yes, frog. I guess here at the top, let's see. First of all, I want to break up these blocks. I guess we could have more more of these. This could be like one of those nice towers. And I've seen so many towers on my holidays last week, but I didn't take the time to draw them. I mean, I did a few drawings of ruins and stuff, actually, but no towers. It's not so easy to see what you're drawing with the canvas size. Let me zoom in. Yeah, it's so weird having that canvas size. But there's nothing I can really do. I mean, the best I can do is just zoom in like this. So you don't see the whole thing, you just see the section, but at least maybe it's a little more clear to understand what is going on. These, and maybe we can indicate like a base of the tower of it coming here, maybe it's in front of the other ruins. Navigator is here, honestly, but it's very small. Like maybe if I pull it out and make it larger, something like this. So you kind of have the crop zoom and the whole image as well. But yeah, to be honest, I'm not completely sure about this one. Yeah, it was pretty small. Let's add some clouds. Should we add like, well, maybe it should be bigger, but there could be like a dude somewhere like staying here. But the only thing, if a person is this big, which makes sense, maybe like this skull and sword are gigantic. They don't make any sense, like unless I would make these the foreground, so to speak, and this is something else a little more in the background. I think maybe this would work, otherwise the sizing doesn't make any sense. Just gonna make sure that they don't continue in the same place, so they don't feel like it's the same. Doesn't feel like it's the same thing. Or maybe here there could be, I don't know, like a jar or something like that. What sort of jar though? I do not know. Let's just do something stupid quick. Maybe just make it fat at the bottom. Okay, and then we just make sure that this feels like it's in front. And okay, let's test it. Save. See, this is what I meant. Like, we put the tower there, but then the chapter marker completely hides the thing. Yeah, so far I don't think this really works. Let's go back and try something else. What could we try? What could we try? I think maybe like a dungeon interior, like we are adventuring inside a dungeon. See if we can make that work. Probably need to unzoom a little just to figure out the composition. Maybe we have sort of entrance or something here, and we see like stairs. And at some point maybe they curve. And there could be like maybe start to see a little bit of the top of these in here. And a bit of a wall. This could be exterior or it could be another like dungeon wall, but I'm thinking, you know, maybe we indicate a bit of a ruin piece here. Zoom in. A bit of trees maybe outside. We could definitely put an adventure or something like that. View on books, yeah, that'd be nice. We can try that next. One thing that I'm really trying to focus on these days is try not to settle on the first idea. I don't know about you guys, but I'm very quick to just be like, oh yeah, that works, and just run with the first thing that comes to mind. But I'm really trying to not do that. Spend a little bit more time exploring things. And this could have be like a section. And could be like cobwebs, stuff like that. Yeah, I've always done that. And even if this doesn't need to be a painting, it still needs to be a finished thing, but I would still probably just rush and be like, oh yeah, you know, arrangement of props, the first one works. Let's go. But maybe you find a more interesting ideas if you just keep exploring. I have absolutely no clue at this point though. How can I build the rest of this thing? Let's try to make this stair kind of like curve a little bit. So maybe they go like this way. I think this may be like too much. Drawing like this narrow composition is is a different challenge, man. It's a completely different challenge. Somehow I'm not even really picturing a perspective which might actually create problems down the line, but it's really counterintuitive at this point. These. And if maybe we just don't make them curve quite as much initially, like we just do something like this. Whoops, kind of forgot that we need to have some thickness to this. So let's pretend that this is one slab. It's another slab. There could be like a rat maybe here. Somehow I'm always tempted to draw like Mickey Mouse sort of rats, like big ears standing. But maybe we can just draw like a small one of those rats that is just small head. Still have a bit of a ears, but less gigantic. And I think here I just need, for the sake of my sanity, start by like creating a section of a wall that overlaps the stairs, like a different perspective. I maybe can go and cut here. So we can continue like doing this, but show more stairs. Maybe. There's one thing that I did in another one of the sketches. It's kind of like this. It's nothing crazy interesting, but just having one of these holes. Although if it's not frontal, because I wanted to show like, you know, eyes or something in there. But I think in this case, I'm not gonna do that. I'll just add some, maybe some bars like this. We could be putting something here. I don't want to do another skull, even though it is very tempting. Only halfway down, I know, right? It's insane. Oh man. This thing backfired like big time. It feels like I drew way more than I actually did. And I kind of want to make it so, like here we see maybe like a section of a side of the wall, and maybe we see like the steps continuing down from the side. Something like this, maybe. And then here we could have a torch. Maybe there is a holder. And here we could have a nice treasure chest. And some pavement. This could even look like, maybe you can make it look like a skull, the keyhole. Like this is, the keyhole is actually the nose. So then we sort of just, it's a bit cliche maybe. Now to figure out a way to connect this two things. I think maybe we'll just use another arch of sorts. So it sort of blocks here. Okay. Or like, oh my god. Somehow, like if I try to draw left to right these arches, it's a lot more difficult. Maybe also because I never use any smoothing on the brushes, but It feels very unnatural. Okay, I think we can possibly do this. Like we have these, and then we sort of reach here, and we cut into this other section. Although I don't want to have such a sharp cut, like horizontally. Maybe I can make it more like stepped. Like it's broken a little. And we can still show that this comes down, and maybe there is more rotating steps. Yeah, I think so. Thanks, man. Can I have like a little bit of a play of shapes? I think so far this is my favorite. Because, you know, there is also a little bit of a journey, right? Like we start here and then we climb down. There's a little mouse. Maybe we can have a couple more fun things. Like I could add that whole with the eyes in here. Something like this. And then we do like this. You know, nothing crazy. Maybe I could add another one of those torches up here. I don't want it to tangent with that. It's weirdly close. Maybe you can just move it down. And we could have this. Storytelling is telling. Nice. The story is telling itself. Just gonna erase this. What else? What else? Maybe we could have other cobwebs here. Actually, maybe this way. Nah, I think I'd rather have it here. Something like this, maybe. Just make it small. And we could maybe indicate something further, like here we could drop a sword on the ground. Could be even like a bit of a pool of blood, dry blood maybe. I don't want to go to like dark or anything like that. That should be right. In the back, maybe we can just indicate more. Maybe there is another passage, but we can make it tall. Something like this. Maybe there is an archway of sorts. And it could be going like left. Zooming. Breadcrumbs next to the chest. Maybe rather than breadcrumbs, it could be like a small piece of cheese to sort of tie together with the rat. Maybe, I'm not sure. Yeah, something close to the chest would be nice. Even like a candle somewhere. Like here we could have totally have like a book. That someone abandoned, or you know, someone maybe died and left it there, something like that. Like a journal. And maybe there's like a pouch. Satchel or something like that, or I'm possibly close to this guy. Let me see if I can just do a quick post on the gram. Doesn't help that I removed it from my phone. General, there's a link. I have to recycle the old image, I think. I don't even see it. Uh-oh. Yeah, it's not here. I was pretty sure that I did this before. Maybe I'll just take a picture of the screen. It's a pretty stupid solution, but does work. Wait, what? What's happening? Oh, right. Can't do this unless I install the app. Oh my god. Alright, let's do that. I don't know about you guys, but I'm really trying to stay off social media as much as possible. It's this weird thing where you know you want to notify people that you're doing stuff and you're making art and you want to share, but at the same time you don't want to use it per se. You just, you know, maybe want to connect with the people, but without spending time, wasting time browsing reels or, you know, just scrolling content. Link? Is it YouTube? Perfect. This is the cheapest story ever. I didn't want to waste time. All right, we're back to this thing. So we got a bit of a book, chest. Maybe we could just indicate some small or coins rather than crumbs, you know. It could be like a few scattered coins. All right. Indicate. Yeah, that's good. I mean, I completely deleted social and like blocked those off the computer and removed the apps on the, you know, on the phone, so I have zero scrolling time, but somehow I still end up with like an hour of screen time just because I end up, you know, browsing the news when I'm in the bathroom, things like that. But I do believe that eventually I can get rid of those as well. Just go back to reading books or, you know, the back of soap as I'm in the bathroom. This would make more sense like this. Maybe we could have a little skull here, just so it's like, oh, yes, sure, enter this dungeon. What could possibly go wrong? Alrighty, let's save. Check it. Ah, yes. I think this one could be nice, although I kind of like it for a different chapter, because there is a chapter that's gonna deal with locations, so having a dungeon maybe, you know, makes a little bit more sense. But yeah, I think this could definitely work for something. Only thing I'm not liking is speed is a little too thin. Just wanna make it a little more thick. Yep. Right. So let's see. We got this. I don't really like this one. You know, maybe this could work for the location instead of the dungeon. Although the dungeon feels a little more specific. This one, I still think it's a little more successful because it's bigger. Like we see stuff a little more prominently. So maybe I'll try what you suggested, Locke, the books and, you know, magic library and candles, stuff like that. I might do another version of that after. Let's see. I kind of want to put it like in a bigger format as well. So we have like a page of this, maybe like codex or magic book, whatever that might be. And I'm not sure if I want to do like a scene with a perspective, maybe like at the beginning, because it really complicates everything. Like I could have a candle, maybe. I could have some melted wax. And we could have indication of maybe a small bottle of ink. Just do this and then maybe this could be left so I can have the feather on the opposite. Wait, what? On the opposite side. I have to change the key bindings of this program. So we can do this. Say the inkwell goes there. Maybe there is a bit of a label. And maybe there is like the cap sitting on the table. And we could have a big feather. Although it wouldn't probably balance like that. So let's do these. Coins. Could probably have a bit of a indication of wood texture from the table. think it could be interesting. And maybe there could be a map or a scroll. I think a scroll makes possibly a little more sense. Could be like a couple of scrolls here, and the table continues. And I think we are good to have like a potion kind of thing, because there's always space for a potion. Maybe seen slightly more from the top. So we can't really compress this perspective like too much. Why do I have a Christmas track? I'm sorry guys, I'm not in the Christmas spirit yet. I guess the playlist is. Okay, so here we will have probably some weird like writings, and maybe there's like a arcane symbol of sorts. Okay, so candle book. This feels pretty cohesive. This part's probably gonna be blocked a little, so I might just flip the whole thing. Let's see. Because if we flip it this way, then the empty space is actually alright to have it there. Okay, let's see. Let's check it out. Right. Maybe the only problem might be that we have that pen in the chapter selection thing, but that might change, so I'm not too worried about it. So I think this one might work. You know, it's pretty big. We understand all the stuff that's going on. Maybe we can fill a few more details, because compared to the other ones, it feels maybe a bit too simple. Like there's not a lot going on. Even the first one that was like not super busy. There was definitely a little more stuff going on. Yeah, let's try to add a couple more things. So if you guys have any ideas, feel free to throw those my way. So we got this. Probably add more for this parchment. Scrolls. I think we need something here in the back. Could probably be like a wand or a dagger as well. Like maybe. Not exactly sure how I want to design it, so maybe keep it simple for now. Just get that form. We got the candles. I think maybe another small thing here. Could be another vial. It could be. I don't want it to be so cliche, but it could definitely be cliche, like a little. Or maybe, some mushrooms, because you know, potions and stuff. Maybe we could have like a. I wonder if it's better if it's standing rather than. Make a bit of space. Probably does not make a lot of sense. So many tangents. Let's break this. Righty. Cool. We got a bit of a mushroom, bit of a potion. Probably have space for maybe like a satchel of small trinkets. Or I think I don't have space to indicate like a mage staff or anything like that. Because I could do it like maybe here. But I wonder if it's even gonna read. Maybe. Trying to think something that makes it really, really obvious. Maybe like this. You could sort of maybe have the typical like gem somehow here in the middle, but I don't know. I think it might become very exceedingly cliche and not. I don't think this is like super recognizable. It's more like how do you call it? Like a walking cane. Wonder if maybe we do something like this, but it's so weird. I mean, it could be a walking cane. Maybe it's an old mage. It could be double purpose mage staff and walking cane. Alright, it feels like the handle of an umbrella as well. Alright, I guess I'm not feeling it. And I want to try a more interesting shape. I do need a way to make it recognizable. Is this personal work? It sort of is, because it's not paid work, but it's for a project that I'm planning to publish. So I guess, yes, it's personal because I'm creating it, but it's not just for fun. I think I'm just gonna go the Gandalf way for the staff. We could have this stuff. And just make the potion thicker, so it feels like it's standing on in front of this. So this was, yeah, we gotta delete this line. And if it's just wood, then make it more sparse. Does this feel a little like a hand? Because that's not what I want to go for. Well, a very weird hand. Thanks, appreciate it. Yeah, it's been pretty fun. We made a few variations, but I'm still not sure. I think this one... Wait. This one is not too bad, you know. We get a decent variety of things happening. Maybe I do want to add something different in here rather than this coins or the dagger. I think the dagger is fun, but the coins are not that interesting. I can take inspiration from this guy. Let's see. Yeah, maybe it could be like a map, a bit of a skull, or another part of a book. It's really difficult to be your own client, if you know what I mean. Then you have to present yourself choices, and then you have to pick. And it's really difficult to do that. I wonder if it would be too crazy to sort of have a small, like, creature, like a small, maybe it's like a familiar, or one of those very, or it could be a tiny slime, a pocket slime. It sounds insane, but maybe it could be fun. We just have it's probably a little too much, but guess who better than a wizard could have a pet slime at the risk of just destroying all his research. I always like to give my slimes like a little leaf on their head for no good reason. I really don't like when I have to like draw things so close to the edge of canvas. I feel like I don't have the space. Yep, limited space, especially in this case. It's like it's a very specific format because it needs to fit that space, and it makes everything a lot more complicated. But yeah, I think ultimately I can just go with this one and then save the dungeon one, which I think I like a little bit more than this, but I can save it for like the second part of the book. It could be nice. Then I can always make some other variation, but for this one, the next step would be to clean up the lines, because just to see how that works, because this is not gonna have any color. At least I don't think so, because I'm using it here on the left, and I don't want it to have color, so I'm trying this sort of like parchment look, and it's just gonna have a lot of cross hatching and values done with line. Maybe I could add a little bit of tones. That could work, but I don't think I want to have it in full color, because I had a different one before that was full color. Like before this test, it was just another illustration of mine. But I think, well, this has a lot of dark colors, but I think it becomes very distracting. And this guy almost looks like he could fit here, because he's sort of narrow, but not this narrow. I haven't really thought of a character-based stuff for this section. It could be interesting, but I think this fits the bill a little better. But that said, let me try to clean this up. Okay. So the goal here is gonna be to clean the shapes, make them better, more fun, stylized, and then do some cross hatching as well. So let's kill the opacity. I'm not sure if I want to use. Let's close this. Could probably use this same pencil because it's really nice. Although for inking or like cleaning things up, it might not be what I need. Let's see. So we have this one. No, it's not too bad, right? The other one I wanted to consider was, I think it was maybe color pencil. But this feels like more for sketching as well, because it has that nice feathery look, which feels natural but not amazing for cleaning things up, probably. Maybe at 5 as a size. Yeah. Though it feels kind of soft, not gonna lie. Probably too soft. And this mechanical pencil one was looking kind of interesting. This has been a curse, to be honest. There are so many. nice brushes in clip. Like, it's really hard to pick. Probably a little too messy. Not bad, not bad. This could actually be pretty good. I think like the latest one, at least the last part shows a sneak peek about the character belonging. Yeah, I think so. I think that works. It just gives a little more of a setting, so to speak. But I think for brushes, at the end of the day, I think this darker pencil is a good compromise. Like, it's not too soft, it's not too... Well, the edges are a little... Maybe we can do this. Let's duplicate. And make it so there's less texture on this thing. I feel like that texture is bothering me a little. All right. And try 7. Yeah, I think this is okay. And then if we want to make it more like a mechanical pencil, then we need to have a less size variety. So maybe 7. It's gonna be too much. I'll probably roll with a 6. I think another problem might be the level of zoom, because this is like 100% resolution. Probably make this like 450. %, or, and that's the other thing, guys. I don't know if you ever realized, but probably you did. But especially when you work on the same project, it's important to stay consistent with size and resolution, because if you change those, then the same brush is not gonna behave in the way that you expect it to behave, which could create problems with like consistency. Even just doing this thing that I just did slightly changed the whole thing. So the ones that was looking nice at that size doesn't look quite as nice. Okay, let's try pass, and then if it doesn't look nice, we can always change it. Probably lower this opacity so we can see the lines. Let's change this shape actually, because I like that it does this, but then I think I just want to make this feel more like a dripping of a candle. This could be like maybe a small candle holder. Hey Lava, welcome, welcome. Yes, trying to do these streams a little more often, but there's still not a set schedule. So the best thing you can do is probably just enable notifications so you get notified when I start. Because like today I even forgot to post right away on Instagram. Are you being converted to the CSP gang? Well, I actually used CSP professionally for a few years back in 2021 and 2022, I guess. But then I stopped because joining a project I was required to use certain brushes that weren't working that well with Clip. So I went back to Photoshop and then I just stayed with it. But I feel like for just line stuff, Clip has a better feel, at least for me. So I'm just, you know, jumping a little bit between this and Photoshop. So I guess you could say that. Have you been using Clip Studio exclusively, or still need to adapt it? It feels like, you know, it has a lot of potential, but sometimes it also falls short on certain things. I don't like it as much for painting, for example, especially because it doesn't perform as well with bigger brushes that have settings like textures and dual brush and things like that. Lack of lab and colorize is Sag. Yes. I mean, I guess I could do without colorize if I have to, even though it's really nice. But yeah, it's definitely lacking quite a few essential things still. Mostly bogged down by the performance of the brushes at big sizes. Let's say for the way I work, that is the biggest problem. Alright, so it's gonna be the base of the book. And we can do the pages. Brush engine is different from Photoshop. I'm having a hard time modifying lazy and zoomy settings to adapt to brushes on CSP. Yeah, that's true. It doesn't really need the stabilization. For me, I just use it for the pressure gain. But that's like I use it the same way as I do with Photoshop. Just because I need a little extra pressure. So I don't have to press as much. I think this, yeah, I think my setting got completely reset, which is unfortunate. Right, we are almost at the 2 hours mark, and I think I can probably end the stream by then, so I can make another one where we finish this off, because this will probably need another couple of hours at least of work with all the, you know, cleanup and the cross-hatching work. It's pretty far from being done. Another thing is just make sure that when we bring it back, it does read. Okay, the hatching at that size is, it's okay. Maybe might need some bigger lines. Hey Nico, what's up? Yeah, all good here. How are things on your end? I feel like I haven't heard from students from Scuola del Fumetto in a while. What's been going on your side of the world? I think before I go, I just want to ink the slime. That's awesome. So everyone passed? Sweet. That's great to hear. And I guess you guys must be excited for what's next. At least I hope so. I mean, it might be scary at the same time when you finish like school. Because then you're like, now what? But I think just using what you learned and trying to build your thing is a lot more fun than just doing school assignments. Like, school can be great. There is a lot to be learned. But then once you're done with that, I think that's where the fun actually begins. Thanks, Lava. See you later. Someone is somewhat yet employed. Oh, nice. That was quick. Yeah, it's a good idea to chill. I mean, it's a long path, so I'd say it's just right. Chill for a while, then figure out what it is that you want to do. But just try to have some fun with it first. I think a lot of people just get obsessed with the jobs, which, you know, I understand, because that's kind of why you go to school and study. But we don't want it to lose the spark, so to speak. Because if you're always focusing on the job and results and all that kind of things, you might end up not having a lot of fun. Which I would say for this line of work is pretty crucial. Like, if you're hating what you're creating, it's not gonna be great. Let's say it's pretty hard to draw for fun when you, well, not for fun, but like draw in general, create things if you don't like at all what you have to create. It's not one of those jobs when you can be like, oh, I hate my job, I just switch off my mind and I don't think about it. Problem is, you have to think about it, otherwise you're not going to be able to do a great job. Yeah, I think D&D commissions are a good starting point, because there's, at least there used to be a lot of requests for it, and it's still very popular, so there should still be quite a few. And usually clients that are not companies can give you that nice introductory experience. I just wonder if I could just write ink. Can probably do something more creative than that. Waiting for Luca to get some feedback on his character from some D&D Italian companies. But afraid to sound like, dude, you gotta hire me. Yeah, I wouldn't worry too much about that. I think it's fine. I mean, they know that people need feedback and they need jobs, so yeah, I wouldn't worry too much about that. Like, what's the worst that's gonna happen? I think just, make some friends there, make some connections, and the rest will sort itself out. Like, it's pretty important to get to know people, and maybe just avoiding being obnoxious. Like, it's fine if it comes across that you need a job, but maybe avoid going up to people and be like, hey, hire me, I need a job, and basically annoy them into disliking you. If you're just normal, just talk about things and show them your work and be like, hey, I'm looking for opportunities right now, so if you know of anyone or anything, please let me know. Things like that. Like, keep it professional, then it's pretty good. Like, you shouldn't run into any issue. Alrighty. Okay, so if you guys want to catch other streams, I would really recommend to turn on the notification. It should be on the bell button. At least I think. I'm not too sure, but yeah, I think that's the one. And of course, I'll try to notify on the Discord community and on the Instagram account. But thank you so much for stopping by, and be on the lookout because I definitely want to wrap this up in the next week. I'm not no later than that. There's so much to be doing on this project, so a lot of work. But yeah, thank you so much for stopping by, and have a lovely evening or day, and see you next time. Bye guys.